The Eagles beat the Cowboys. Dak Prescott had a monster day throwing the football. 29 of 44, 374, 3 touchdowns. Jalen Hurts, 17 of 23, 203, 2 touchdowns. But we kind of talked about this game leading into the game because we saw Philadelphia last week against Washington football team.
Yeah.
And I said, Ocho, Sam Howell just threw for 397 and 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
So what do you think Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb's thinking? Ooh, if Sam Howell and McLaurin and Dotson, if they got those numbers, what we going to do?
Yeah.
And I saw you earlier say, man, give Dak some. But you know it, Ocho, when the rubber needs to meet the road, Dak got to get that ball. Now, I've been saying, you hating. I'm saying, guys, kicking field goals in the red zone will get you beat. Now, one team was 3 of 5 in the red zone. One team was 3 of 3 in the red zone. Now, you tell me, without knowing anything, which team you think won the game? The team that went 3 of 3 in the red zone or the team that went 3 of 5 in the red zone?
The team that went 3 of 3, obviously. With 3 of 3. Listen, those 2 possessions where they weren't able to score, it hurt them in the tail end. And then obviously that third quarter, listen, this was a great game. This was a great game. It was a shootout. It was going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. But something about that third quarter where the goddamn Eagles outscored the Cowboys 14-0 was the change in the game. And the Cowboys still had opportunity at the very end of the game to get the ball back and still had opportunity. Was it to tie it or actually win the game? Right?
They could have won the game. They'd have won the game.
They could have won the game. And when CD caught that dig route on about the 2 of the 3,
right.
And I stood up. I said, I know he ain't about to score.
No. If he'd got in there through 4 people, he'd have been Hercules. He'd have been Hercules. But Ocho, and people, this is not hindsight. This is not piling on. These are the moments that Dak has got to come through.
Right.
Okay, you look at the stat line: 29 of 44, 374, 3 touchdowns. The game is right there for him to take. This is the moment. Now, he can shut a lot of people up.
Yeah.
What's the song go? If only for one night. He could have done that. If only for one night.
Yeah.
Ocho, on the 2-point play, tell the people at home that didn't watch the game what he did. He stepped out of bounds.
Listen. Okay, he stepped out of bounds on the 2-point play. Okay. He is making an effort to score the best way he can.
I pay for effort. You make 40+ million for results or effort. Did they pay you for effort?
Baby, don't do that. Don't do that.
What did the Bengals pay you for?
Huh?
That was a smooth route.
Yeah, they paid me for my feet. That's the only reason they paid me for my feet. But I understand what you're saying. He didn't realize where he was and stepped a little too far, outside.
He got to realize you're a pro. Those are moments. Remember we talked about.
Right. Yeah, this game is built on moments. You're right. You're right about that. And then in that moment, he messed up and didn't give his team a chance to get that 2-point conversion. But they still had an opportunity to win at the end of the game.
Hold on. You remember, instead of in the red zone, they kick a field goal. That's 3 instead of 7. And guess what? They turned the ball over on downs in the red zone. That's 0 instead of something. They missed the 2-point conversion. So now, just think, you get the 2-point conversion. Now you get an opportunity to kick a field goal to tie the game and send it into overtime. So there are a lot of things that could have materialized. And these are the moments that define quarterback. Look, Tom Brady, think about the Super Bowl. Tom Brady threw for 140-something yards in that game.
Yeah.
But what was it? It was his ability to put them in field goal range to kick the field goal. How many times? We've seen the quarterback play really, really bad. But when the rubber needs to meet the road, when we need a play, we're counting on to get it done. And Dak needs to have more of those.
Right. You know what I think about? Even with it only being week 9 in the season, having a game like that to that magnitude, to me, is a great teaching tool for Dak. For them offensively, because you had a great game, obviously throwing for 374. You finally got an opportunity to get CeeDee Lamb involved and him trying to make an impact on the game. Huh?
I see CeeDee had a monster game. What did he have?
They have an impact on the game. So games like this, as close as this game was, I think when the opportunity and the moment presents itself again for Dak and the Cowboys team, they will come through.
We've been saying this. Dak's been in the league since 2016. How many times have we asked him in this moment, to be what Jerry paid you to be what Cowboys fans and Cowboys supporters, that's what they're asking you to be. That's the moment. Nobody asking you to throw for 500 yards against the Giants. Nobody cares. Nobody cares when you throw for 300 yards against the Jets. Nobody cares. These are the moments. Because what we've seen now, come on now, Ocho.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you. They've come up short. They come up short in those moments. But at some point, with the sample side that we've seen, with the sample side that the Cowboys fans have had to experience since Dak has been at the helm, at some point the tides have to turn. So what happens if later on in the season that moment comes and he lives up to that moment? At some point it has to happen, and it's probably going to happen when you least expect it. And this might be the year.
16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. So that's 8 years. Let me ask you a question. Yeah. Would you go buy a $10 million house and then play the lottery and hope you win it to pay it off? That's not how you do it.
Let me tell you something. That was a beautiful analogy right there. I like where you're going. I like where you're going.
You keep telling me this might be the year, but what has history shown you?
Right. I understand what you're saying, but listen. Every season, there are 32 teams.
Yes.
Every season, there are 32 teams, and all 32 of those teams have the same goal in mind: to reach the Super Bowl and try to get that Lombardi.
You and I both know.
What has history told you?
Ocho,
only two gonna make it.
Ocho, you and I both know. You played this game long enough. Yeah. We know there's only about 6 teams, 8 teams, really.
Realistically.
They realistically have a chance.
That's gonna have a chance.
I know that. And everybody say, hey, guys, we could do it this year. We have the talent in this room. No, we don't. No, you don't. No, you don't.
Well, listen, you hear what you just said? The Cowboys have the talent now. They have the talent offensively and defensively. And it's going to come down to the quarterback play in those moments. He has to capitalize on those moments and be the quarterback of elite status.
If you go back and look at all the great quarterbacks, they've had that moment. It was Elway in the drive, or you look at Brady, or you look at Mahomes, or you look at whomever it may be. Joe Burrow. They've had those moments, and he's gonna get an opportunity. They're gonna make the playoffs. They're too good of a team not to make the playoffs, and it's gonna come down because the playoff team, when it gets the further you go along, the teams get closer and closer.
Right.
Who can make the play when it matters the most? So I'm gonna get an opportunity, Ocho, to go make a first down, to make a throw that's gonna get us a first down, or I'm gonna have to use my legs to get us a first down, or I'm gonna have to make throws to get us in field goal range or go get us a touchdown. Can he do that?
Do it.
And I think that's what people are waiting to see, so he can silence these critics. And all he has to do it is once.
Yeah.
All he has to do it is once. And it's gonna change his life. Because look, if you play the quarterback, if you play that position in Dallas, you're a hero, and win the Super Bowl, you're a hero. Roger Staubach is Mount Rushmore.
Forever.
Troy is forever. There's something that comes along that now Roger didn't want to do the media. But you look at Don Meredith. He was on football for 20 years. You look at Tony Romo. You look at Aikman. You look at what comes along playing that position in Dallas.
Yeah. You're right. Listen, I'm optimistic. I'm optimistic, just like Jerry Jones. I'm optimistic, like the rest of the Cowboy fans. I'm not even a Cowboy fan in general, but I'm looking at the lay of the land and what they're doing offensively. Defense, they're gonna be fine. They're gonna be all right. I'm just looking at how they're improving week to week, as we said. If the defense is not having takeaways, if the special team is not putting them in good positions, but offensively they got it done.
Right.
Offensively, they got it done. Went up and down the field. They ran the ball. Pollard ran the ball really well. They had CeeDee Lamb involved. There are a few penalties that really weren't penalties defensively by the DBs. Other than that, you fix those issues when it comes time, crunch time, in those moments. I'm telling you, that can gonna come through. It's gonna happen.
Okay.